There's a chart that I saw a few months ago that I can't stop thinking about. And what this chart did is it represents all of humanity. And it has over 2,500 dots on it, over 8 billion people. Each one of these dots represents over 3 million people each. And the colors range from the AI advancement in how people are interacting with it. The gray dots are people who've never used AI. It's an ocean of gray. It's most people. They're come across it maybe when they've used Google search, or maybe they used ChatGPT once, but that doesn't really count. Then that thin green band at the bottom, that's about the 1 billion people who have tried ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, DeepSeek, etc. Then, even smaller, there's that sliver of yellow. That's roughly around 30 million people. These are the people who are paying for the $20 per month premium access to ChatGPT and so forth. I'd actually reckon a lot of you watching this video are in that bandwidth. I'm here today to tell you that you're missing out on a lot if you don't get into this red dot. This red dot represents 0.04% of people, around 5 million, maybe 10 million people for being generous. This is the smallest minority of people who use AI and how they use it today. And they're the ones who are getting 100, if not 1,000x out of it than everyone else is. And it's using the coding scaffolding and integrating AI into your workflows that will absolutely change everything. In this video today, my goal is to teach you and help you understand what it is and what it means to be in that red and how you can be in that red yourself. Being in that red zone will actually allow you to do things that you only dreamt of. Things as crazy as sending handwritten letters through a chat interface, or maybe sending all your email marketing for the entire month through a simple chat. Or maybe you want to call someone, but you don't want to pick up the phone. Why not have a robot call them? Well, again, you can do that through your own personal AI. So today, I'm going to be teaching you how to think and work with Claude Code or any similar coding AI platform as a non-coding person. I have very little coding experience. I am not a coder. I am a founder. I'm a marketer. I'm an entrepreneur who has to run a business and wanted my businesses to take advantage of AI. So I'm going to give you some steps that by the end of this week, you'll be able to take full advantage of AI and do incredible things with it. So let's jump into it. Step one is not a mindset. It's a simple download. You need to start using Claude Code this week. If you want to get in the red dot, you got to start wiring AI into your work. And Claude Code is the top of the line way to do that right now. It might not be the best forever, but right now it is, and I suggest you use it. So get one of the $20 per month plus plans on Claude. If you use it hard and you hit your limits, that's great. Congratulations. You should celebrate every single time you hit your limits because it means you're computing hard, you're producing a lot of tokens, and you're creating really incredible stuff for yourself. So if you use it hard, upgrade to the max plan. I'm personally on the $200 max plan, which is like I think 20x the limits of the regular Pro. This will buy you a lot of headroom to do incredible stuff with it. Now, you could be doing this with the GPT Codex ecosystem. You could use Kimi, you could use DeepSeek, you could even use some really cool open source models, but I'm showing you the best in class path. Pick your own later. All right, first thing is the folder. When you're working within Claude, you have to choose a folder you're going to be working within. This is true for Claude Code and for Claude Cowork. For me personally, I have built for my team a folder structure that was inspired by some of the greatest minds in second brain knowledge thinking. Does it look good? Okay. One of the first things you really need to decide when you're working with AI is the folder you're going to be working within. I personally have built one for the company that myself and my colleagues use that have everything we need in it. It's got a Claude MD file that explains how everything works and how you should be using it. It has all the client subfolders in it. It's got our content subfolders in it. It's got our tooling subfolders in it. It explains to Claude essentially how we want to organize and work with everything. It tells it the rules. It tells it what to do, what not to do. It's really important you start working within a good folder and you start organizing your thoughts. I'll get into that a little bit more later. Next tip I want to tell you is voice dictation. I dictate almost everything for the last 2 years. I feel so bad and very thankful for my dear wife who has to listen to me yap all day long to Claude Code about let's build this, let's build that, let's try this, let's try that, let's fix this, let's fix that. The main reason why I suggest you do the voice dictation is when you speak and articulate your thoughts, you can go a lot faster than typing, and you can flow through concepts with a lot more ease. It's a bit hard in the beginning, kind of like turning on a faucet. It might be slow to drip in the beginning, but once you start doing it consistently, that flow will go consistently, and you'll get a lot more out of it. And then lastly, it's the loop. The loop is you're going to be describing your task to Claude Code, kind of like how you would do with normal prompting. And you also need to be clear about what a good output looks like. Good context and will equal good output. So you're telling it what you want, what a good output looks like, and it needs to have good context. The whole point of the folder system I told you about helps set up that context. And again, we'll get into a little bit more detail on that later. And then lastly, start in plan mode. This will save you a lot of tokens and credits. So if you want to avoid hitting your limits too early, I would suggest being in plan mode for as long as possible. Plan mode essentially lets you ideate and figure out what you want to do before it actually goes and does it for the least amount of credits as possible. And then exit plan mode once you feel like you and the AI have a very good idea about what you want to do. All right, step 2. This is not prompting. If you're still thinking about prompting or you're consuming content on how to prompt better, you're wasting your time. Prompting is so 2025. What's better than prompting is good context and good plugins and good connections. And so some things I want to teach you right now are some acronyms. I had no idea what they meant a few years ago, but I use daily or critical to the workflows I do. First off is API. An API is just a way for one tool to use another tool's features directly. You hand it a specific key, it's kind of like a password, and that can act inside the other service for you. No clicking around, no UI, no software, none of that. What's really cool about this is you can use APIs within your Claude Code to basically start using a lot of tools that you used to need the context switch and waste your time logging in, getting the authentication, two-step, all of that, waste 5 minutes just to log into your customer service portal. You don't need to do things like that now because you can go in directly through the API. Now, more recently, to kind of combat some of the risk and issues that come with API, Anthropic introduced a protocol called MCP. It means Model Context Protocol. And it's an open standard, so an AI can plug straight into a tool and start using it. It's a slightly safer way instead of you copy and pasting between tabs or your API itself. And you can basically use either or. For me personally, I like to use API for certain things. It usually has a bit more freedom and limitless abilities to do certain things, I've noticed. And then MCP, you can kind of do most, if not everything with, if the tool has been built for that. But some tools are very restrictive on how their MCPs work. So it's good to have a little bit of both of them. Now in Claude, you also have these things called plugins and connectors. These are basically specific skills that allow you to do specific integrations. They're essentially MCPs and authorized Claude plugins. So for me, I have them ranging from email tools to graphic creation tools to even this MaxFax MCP, which is an MCP I built that allows me to send faxes directly through my Claude. They're essentially kind of Claude approved systems and ways for you to do them. You're not limited to these, but there are an incredible array of available MCPs you can download on the internet, built by the community or by the tools themselves you can use. And then Claude themselves have curated a list of MCPs and approved skills that you can plug in. There's financial skills, there's legal skills, there's design skills. I've even built some extra fun skills where you can do things like add some little delightful flair to your design, or spark a little joy in the UI that you're working on. These are skills that you can build, download, and share. All right, step 3, the ooh skills. The skills you actually need to succeed with Claude Code, I personally believe, are not technical. And here are 3 that you should focus on, and they all start with O. The ooh skill. Okay, Claude, edit, restart. Step 3 now. Step 3, the ooh skills. The ooh skills are 3 skills that I believe you need to succeed with Claude Code that have nothing to do with knowing how to code. And they have everything to do with how you think and how you work. Let's start with the first of the oohs, opinions. Your opinions, your point of view, your taste, your worldview, your beliefs. This is what actually will steer the AI based on your context. AI has killed the cost of producing mid-tier content. What AI has not done, and maybe never will do, is keep up with high-quality taste. Even if AI gets better and more quality with what it's doing, which it is on a daily basis, the human bar for tastefulness will always rise and change. As AI gets better at creating things, humans' taste will decide that the new bar has been changed. So the exciting part is if you have a strong opinions, a strong POV, a strong worldview, if you're very radical about certain things, your unique sense and perspective won't be replaced. In fact, it will be the driving factor to what will make your unique use case of AI even better, because the outputs of your unique inputs to the AI will not be replicatable by AI slop factories or your competitors. So double down on those crazy opinions you have. Double down on those thoughts you have. Double down on that unique world perspective you have, and find a way to channel it into your coding protocols, because you're going to be able to produce incredible information and content. Number 2, organization. Organization is having a theory of how the work should be done and the context the AI needs to get that work done. Because if you just ask AI to run your business or respond to a customer or create a marketing campaign, it's going to be generic slop. It will hallucinate, and it will be a messy piece of crap that I don't suggest you do. If you build constraints or harnesses, which people like to call in the AI coding world, essentially the rules and frameworks of how you believe the AI and work should be done, your opinions essentially will be structuring the scaffolding that the AI have to operate within. So if you organize your thoughts, your business systems, your workflows in a very specific way, and you tell the AI, this is how work is done, this is how I like to respond to customers, this is how I like my marketing emails to sound, this is what I don't want my marketing emails to sound like, you're essentially creating a great organization of context that your AI can thrive within. Now, let's talk a little bit about the type of context AI thrives with. AI loves 2 different file types that you need to know about. File type number 1 is Markdown. It's just text. Imagine like a Word document, but not owned by Microsoft. It's something that's completely free. You can use it on any computer or device. It's a plain text file, essentially. Every computer has it. If you have a Mac, it's basically the file I think is called text editor. And the Claude MD file, which is built into all Claude code, is essentially a file that lets you describe how you want Claude to work. It saves certain information, certain structure, and this particular file is kind of the highest level hierarchy of how you want your organization to work. The next thing is the memory file. This is recently built by Anthropic, and this is a constantly updating memory file that takes in the contexts that you give it and improve it. Now, honestly, I think the memory file is good, but it only gets you halfway there. So I think it's more important you have further file systems. You know, if you're like an agency, you should have all your clients listed. If you're a lawyer, you should have all your cases listed. The importance is you need to make sure your working files, the ones you're working within, that the AI has access to, is well organized in the way that you yourself like working within it, and then the AI can operate within that. Now, to go even further, for MacShip, I like to organize and use a tool called Linear for project management. Linear is just like every other project management tool out there, ClickUp, Notion, whatever. But what's different about it is it's much more friendly for agentic workflows and kind of like AI coding environments. And so I use Linear for project management, and clients and ventures all have their own folders that the project management system works within and fully understands. Then you've got HTML. What I like about HTML is you get unique things, interactive widgets, little systems inside the files. For example, I built a portal with my wife, and the HTML is on a framework called Astro. We basically have our own little website app that has our travel, has all of our friends and families, important dates, and calendar information in it. And it's essentially a bunch of HTML files that let us interact with it and keep on top of our stuff. Fortunately for us, because AI was trained on the internet is essentially a bunch of HTML files. AI is really good at making HTML files. HTML files are way more fun and easier to read than basic markdown plain text files. They do take up quite a few more tokens, so I suggest you do a balance of the two. I suggest for hard-coded information and context that helps the AI thrive, you do markdown. This is so you can just load up your AI with a bunch of context, so it's never hallucinating and it's always making good, accurate understandings of things. But then for the extra wow to make it enjoyable for you as the human, do HTML. HTML will make it a much more much more fun experience. Imagine MySpace in the early days where you could customize your MySpace. It's kind of what you get to do with HTML. You get to build your own little mini website pages that you can use to either share information with clients, manage your own information. Maybe you want to build your own dashboard where every day you have all your emails listed out for you and then you interact with it. That would be an HTML file within your folder structure. Number 3, overcome. Overcome is the one nobody wants to hear. And it's the fact that AI will not solve all your problems. I have the great honor and privilege to kind of coach and teach a few people through joining the Claude Code experience and launching some tools and applications of their own. Unfortunately, the most common thing I see with everyone is they give up when they run into an issue. They give up and frustrated when Claude Code can't solve all their problems for them. And it's kind of the most important skill of all of them is the ability to consistently break through those barriers. A lot of the times the AI will create fantastic things for you and you're going to love it. It's going to be an aha moment when you first start working within Claude Code as a non-coder. You're going to feel like your life's changed. And then you're going to hit a brick wall and it's going to hurt. And you're going to feel like there's no way around it. And you're going to ask the Claude to please fix, make no mistakes. And it's not going to be able to do it. And the most important skill is for yourself to overcome it and to troubleshoot it. The same way when your computer stops working, try turning it on and off. Try asking a friend. Try asking another AI. Try sleeping on it and coming back the next day. But the problem is if you just expect AI to automate everything for you and work every single time and make life very easy, it's a very bad idea. It's a very poisonous idea that people have when they dream up a world where AI makes everything easier. I think that's a very dangerous concept. The reason why I think it's a dangerous concept is because if you've ever seen the movie WALL-E, when humans allow AI to make decisions for them at all times with little to no repercussions, you just end up kind of pressing yes to every single suggestion that the AI gives. When you press yes, to every single suggestion the AI gives, you basically just create an environment for yourself which you're complicit. You don't have any executive decisions. You'll just end up laying flat, obese, watching ads all day, agreeing to everything you see. And so I think one of the most important things to keep in mind is when you hit obstacles, you need to solve them yourself. You need to always be ready to solve the problems that the AI won't be able to, which when they come, they're hard and you're going to have to figure it out. You're probably going to have to roll up the sleeves, probably going to have to inspect the code a little bit, even though you're not a coder, and you're going to have to use just brute force and the ability to troubleshoot things to overcome it. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be constant. But friction is the signal to show up, not quit. Step 4, safety before fun. Before you get into all this fun, I do need to tell you about some safety protocols you need to understand. When you start working with Claude code like this level and it has access to your folders, you can and might accidentally delete everything. If you go on Anthropic's bug report GitHub, which has thousands of submissions on it any given day, you read horror stories of people saying, Claude code deleted everything. Claude code deleted 20 years of clients' files, Claude code deleted all my computer files. Now, if you read through those bug reports, you'll find out usually that person was an idiot and they didn't have a backup, or they gave Claude complete access to everything and just blindly clicked yes on everything. So I want to give you some suggestions. While you can accidentally delete everything, you need to make sure you're always creating a redundant backup of the most important files. The way I do that is I like to have in the cloud, something I work on, and then I also have an SSD drive that I plug in every few days to create local backups, everything. And then my Mac has a backup of it. My business partner's Mac have backups of everything. So like if I lost my computer and the cloud went down, at least my business partners would have access to things. So it's just important to create multiple backups of things. So if you do accidentally delete everything with Claude, you have a redundancy set up. The next safety thing is to be really careful about these API keys. API keys are more dangerous than passwords. A password might allow someone to log into your account. An API key could basically, within a few minutes, destroy everything, destroy your client files, send a bunch of emails to customers, etc. So you need to be super serious with your API keys. So what I personally suggest is you are very secure about them. When you first get one from a tool, you need to make sure that you don't store it in an unsafe file in your computer. You instead are going to ask the AI to open an env file, and you will paste the key inside of these, and then you will reference that file inside of the AI. So I like to say, hey, Claude, make an env file for Cloudflare, and I will paste the API in there. I'll paste it in there, and what this will do is allow me to essentially give the access it needs without pasting it into the chat, which is the most compromisable space that could happen. But it gives the AI the understanding that, okay, I reference this file and it should give me access to everything without needing to actually open up that said file. So be really careful with your API keys. And only give it the certain amount of privilege scope when you do it. When you set up API keys, it might ask you, do you want read permissions? Do you want edit permissions? Do you want to give a permission to everything? Only give it to the least amount of things you actually need to do. Don't go crazy. Don't go overboard. Lastly, something super important is human in the loop before anything sends, pays, or publishes. Think about like marketing messages, ads, payment processing, anything that goes live on a website. You want to instruct the AI to say, hey, before you post a new blog post, you need to check with me first. This way, you can still take advantage of the accelerated agentic technology, what Claude Code is, but you still get to be the human in the loop to verify and approve things before it goes live. You do these safety mechanisms, and you should be great, and you'll have a lot of fun. All right, now here's the fun part. I want to talk about the possibilities you could do with this kind of stuff. So some of the things that I'm able to do with my Claude are, first of all, with Cloudflare, which I've integrated with, I'm able to push live changes to multiple websites in English. So, for example, let's say for one of my websites, this recent project I did, which is called World Wellness Guide. Let's say I'm on the site and I wanted to change this text right here. I could copy and paste this. I could go into the Claude code. I could paste it in and I say, hey, on the World Wellness Guide, on the Bangkok page, I want to change the intro text. Or maybe I say, hey, on the MacShip website, on the log, I want to add a big photo of me at the top. I want to be extra handsome. And it can basically do that. Obviously, there's a nuance and there's quite a few steps you have to do and to understand for each particular tool, but I can basically voice speak any change to any website through this process, which for me, I think is so freaking cool. Another one that's really interesting is like, let's say for Excalidraw, I'm able to generate complex ecosystem diagrams for a client by just voice dictating it through Claude Code. Or how about I want to make product shots and product ads or UGC kind of AI content? Well, I have a Higgsfield subscription, which is basically letting me tap into things like Google Nano Banana or GPT-2 image modeler, and I can basically vibe describe an image I want, a video I want, and then it will use the MCP to Higgsfield and do that. Maybe I want to make some changes to my Notion with my team. I can do that here. Or I use PostHog for all my site analytics. So I could simply just voice ask Claude any given day, hey, who's coming to my website? How many people showed up? Where are they dropping off? Based on the analytics, how could we improve the website? Or one of my personal favorite ones is my Superhuman plus my Google multi-auth MCP. This allows me to achieve inbox zero across my Gmail and Microsoft accounts, all through Claude. In what used to take me maybe an hour or two per day to go through all my emails, I'm able to do in like maybe 5-10 minutes because I say, hey, Claude, tell me what emails I have, list out the important ones, draft up some responses, let me review it, I'll approve the responses, tell me which emails we should probably archive that are marketing or spam, and then I want you to delete those. And what I'm able to do is respond to the people I need to through the interface, and I'm able to delete all the other messages and achieve inbox zero all through this process. Then I've got my MaxFax MCP. This is ability to basically tell Claude, hey, to this number, send this document, and it'll charge me $2. It will send a fax, and I managed to use old school technology in here. Or let's say I want to send handwritten cards that a robot wrote. It's a real thing. It's called Handwritten. They're based, I believe, in Arizona. And this crazy cool entrepreneur built a machine farm of handwriting robots. You can choose the handwriting style you want. You can choose the card you want. And for like $5, you can get handwritten cards that same day through an API, aka through Claude. And so, for example, I recently went to a convention, and at the end of the convention, I voice noted to my Claude code saying I met this person, this person, this person, this person, and this person. These are, the valuable things I learned from these people, and this is the message I want to send to each one. I asked Claude to look up the corporate addresses and verify of each one of these people. I found their business addresses. I then had the cards written by handwritten, and then I submitted it. And a week later, arriving at all the headquarters of all the offices were handwritten letters addressed to that person, thanking them for our conversation I had at the convention. I think that's just so cool that we could do that inside of Claude Code. Then you got something like Retell. I can quite literally have my AI phone call someone because I'm a millennial. I hate phone calls. I'm allergic to it. And the AI will call any phone number on earth for me, speak through any specific prompt I asked it to, and it will use an AI to basically do a reservation or get specific information about a specific thing or book a hotel. I can do all that from inside of my Claude. So essentially, 99% of people aren't able to do any of this stuff. 0.04% are able to do it, and it has nothing to do with knowing how to code. It's opinions, it's organization, it's your mind, it's your ideas, it's your business, it's your structure. Be safe about it. troubleshoot and overcome any obstacles you have. And if you do that, you're going to be ahead of 99.9% of people. So, in closing, if any of this was useful for you, please like and subscribe to this video and come to see the rest. I also write my thoughts on my site, maxship.com. I have a newsletter called the Captain's Log. I send free one time per week based on my essays about marketing, technology, and travel. I'm currently in China right now, writing about my experience and what I'm learning about culture and technology as I'm working my way through rural China and to the cities. All right, thank you very much. Have a great day.